top-tier programs, 2 Hall of Fame coaches, late February in West Lafayette. Here we go, Michigan State and Purdue. What are you watching here tonight, Robbie?
Well, whenever you play Michigan State, it's about the rebounding. Purdue has not been great against 2 teams in Illinois and Michigan on the season that really rebound the basketball. That can't be the case tonight. And for Michigan State, with Braden Smith on the floor, their pick-and-roll defense has got to be on point.
They go into Carson Cooper, who's coming off a tremendous 2011 game against Ohio State, and he gets the scoring started.
Yeah, career-high 20 points, and you asked Tom Izzo about it after the game, and he just rips his defense. I mean, come on, Coach, give this guy some credit.
Well, you know Tom Izzo, defend, rebound, and run. That is always their identity. See the lineups at the bottom of your screen, presented by PetSmart tonight. Kaufman-Renn almost threw it away. 5 to shoot. Braden Smith up top in rhythm. C.J. Cox.
And that's a massive shot for the confidence of C.J. Cox. His only averaged just over 2 a game the last 2 ball games. But you get a paint touch there by Braden Smith. Spray that out. Really important for Purdue's role guys tonight to make shots, because there's going to be focus on the big 3 of Smith, TKR, and Fletcher Lawyer.
And then Purdue forcing the turnover. They go inside, and Clough puts it off the window.
And this has got to be a game where Oscar Clough can establish some physicality with the interior of Michigan State's bigs.
Clough is a big boy himself at 6'11", 260. Kick out, open corner 3. Carr in and out, and a rebound to Clough.
You have to think Purdue, even though Cohen Carr has shot it better the last 9 games, and Jeremy Fears actually has 5 made threes in the last 2, they're going to let those guys take their temperature from the perimeter.
Here's Trey Kaufman-Renn. He's been filling it up the last couple of games of the scoring column. Here he finds Clough. What a beautiful big-to-big feed.
Well, and Trey Kaufman-Renn the last 9 games, 26 assists to just 10 turnovers. He's had that look in his eye, though, the last 2 games. He's looked aggressive, and he's looked for his own offense.
Yeah, like the guy who was first-team All-Big Ten last year. Purdue on a 7-0 run. The freshman Scott been starting the last 5 games. Gives it up. Here's Carr. Lost it. And Kohler couldn't put it back.
I wish Cohen Carr would have just spun and went right to that left hand.
Look at Braden Smith with the reverse. It's a 9-0 run. A steal. But Cox missed it. This place is in a frenzy. Carr. That'll settle him down for the moment.
Whenever you miss a layup, it always leads to that run out on the other end. Michigan State catching their composure there, and Cohen Carr off the ball. Really good cut off Jeremy Fears' dribble penetration.
Both of these teams 22-5. Both of these teams 12-4 in Big Ten play. What a battle tonight in West Lafayette. Behind the back. Little push shot. Left it short. Tap out though to Smith. Clough patient against Kohler, spinning, and he got it.
Oscar Clough, the last 3 games, has only taken 8 shots. He has been aggressive early. This looks like the guy that played the first 16 games for Purdue at center.
That started that 9-0 run. Jordan Scott down inside. Cooper, yes.
That all happens because Fletcher Lawyer just falls asleep over there. He's guarding Jordan Scott, who has been so much more aggressive these last 5 games. You fall asleep, you get behind the play, and that just puts Purdue's entire defense behind.
And as we mentioned, Carson Cooper's been playing some really good basketball. What a combination him and Jackson Kohler are on the inside for Tom Izzo. Braden Smith, who's 6 assists away from 1,000. That's off of Fears. It'll stay on this end. Robbie, what a matchup. Braden Smith and Jeremy Fears at the point guard position.
And Braden Smith has some years on him, but Jeremy Fears has taken such a leap this season, really scoring it on the season. He's in the top 16 in the league in scoring. He leads the country in assists per game, 2nd free throw percentage. And boy, Michigan State has just not been hooked up with some of these actions Purdue is running.
Braden Smith now 4 assists away from 1,000 in his career. Here is Jeremy Fears, redshirt sophomore from Chicago. Down the lane, but he missed it. Smith will push. He'll stop. He'll pop. Clough flying through. it belongs to Michigan State.
You know, they speak on the issues of the game, that they've won the right way, that they coach their teams, they develop players. There are not two better coaches or two guys that I would take to coach my team outside of Tom Izzo and Matt Painter. They're two of the best doing it.
Two good friends, so much respect between them. Kur Teng, first shot is short, and a rebound by the 7'4" redshirt freshman Daniel Jacobson.
And so far, Purdue has done the job on the glass and inside the paint. They have been the aggressors in this game.
And again, Michigan State, third best rebounding team in the country. Jacobson, and they're going to get Tang underneath. The officials, by the way, Larry Serrato, Doug Sermons, Bert Smith, a veteran Big Ten crew here tonight, as you would imagine. Here's Fears leading the nation in assists, surveys to the corner. Jordan Scott up top, Fears, yes! And the foul on Harris, a chance at 4. And he's got all the assists, as we said, to lead the nation, but over the last 11 games, folks, he's at better than 19 points a night. He is playing his best when the lights are the brightest. After Purdue threw the first punch, the Spartans starting to settle in a bit. Smith gets a screen. Kicks out. Lawyer hasn't put up a shot yet.
But Michigan State handled that low pick and roll so well. That is not easy to guard.
Jacobson, front iron. Fears will push. Here's Carr. Always got to watch him. But he lost it. Inside, the reverse goes for the freshman Cam Ward.
And that's where Cam Ward wants to operate. 81% of his points come from inside the paint. That's the third highest rate in the Big Ten. He just finds his way. He maneuvers, he pivots, and he gets to that right hand.
6-0 run for Michigan State. Dangerous pass. Carr gets on it and ties it up with Trey Kaufman-Renn. The possession arrow is with Purdue. Speaking of Cam Ward, number 3, Tom Izzo said yesterday he's a guy that he wants more out of down the stretch. So keep your eye on him. Smith drives and kicks. There's Lawyer. Rolls around and off.
Got a great look because of that Kaufman-Renn slip there.
Spartans, a chance to grab their first lead. Ward, the coach's son from the D.C. area, gives it up. 10 to shoot. Calder, he can hit that. 5 on the timer. Tang, 8-0 run. Spartans first lead.
And good to see Kur Teng with the bounce back. 2 for 9 from the field against Ohio State. Late shot clock situation. Purdue had handled the ball screen well. Kur Teng making himself available and knocking down a big one for him.
Purdue hasn't scored in over 3 minutes. Harris trying to stop the drought. He cannot.
And Jakari Harris is only shooting 17% from 3 in home games. He has been a different shooter on the road.
Tang blocked, but look who's there. Cam Ward cleans it up.
You got Jackson Kohler sealing off the drive there, and the help comes over, but Cam Ward once again just navigating that paint. Right place, right time, but he can score that thing inside.
He's got a look in his eye. I think he received the message from Tom Izzo the other day. Trey Kaufman-Renn ends the 10-0 run. Lawyer marking Carr here. And they'll reset with their floor general, Jeremy Fears. Carr on the baseline. Whoa. Daniel Jacobson fouled him. 51.5-inch vertical for the best leaper in college basketball. But at the line, he struggles. He's just a 60% foul shooter.
Those percentages maybe don't say that.
He gets the second and prevents the fans here from getting free chicken. That's why they moan and groan. That's become a thing at pretty much every arena around college basketball.
To the board there?
That's part of it. I think they really just wanted some free chicken. These students are hungry. They don't have the NIL that Braden Smith does. Rolls off. On the deck, Harris. And then Scott. So a couple for Jakari Harris, sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Guy who Matt Painter says does a little bit of everything. He's a winner, and he gets both, and we're tied at 17.
I mentioned some of his shooting struggles at home, but his percentage in Big Ten play is improved from what he's done on the year.
And of course, Purdue collectively such a great three-point shooting team, 38%, best in the conference. Jordan Scott from 17. Kohler high for the board, spins and puts it home.
Well, Clough mistimes his jump there. Now, I like, though, how aggressive Jordan Scott has been. He did it on Sunday against Ohio State, and there he's just looking to get to his pull-up, coming off that screen. And Jackson Kohler, one of the better offensive rebounders in the Big Ten Conference.
Over 9 rebounds a game for Jackson Kohler. Puts Spartans back on top. Harris, extra pass. Meyer off the bench and into the basket.
Well, he has been cashing out here these last 4 games now. 9 of his last 15 from 3. They're rotating Jakari Harris. And you've got Omer Meyer just getting that done from the perimeter.
What a tough finish. Cam Ward is coming out possessed here tonight.
Well, if you look at his numbers over the last 4, maybe the volume of field goals is not there, but the efficiency has been. He is a talented player, playing behind some really good bigs, but he's come in here on the road and shown no fear.
He was a top 75 kid out of high school in the D.C. area, and he scored almost 3,000 points in high school. He can fill it up. Boy, Smith, I thought maybe he should have laid that up, totally. Rob. Here's Meyer, tries to split the defenders.
By Kohler.
And now the other way, Tang. Ooh, that was almost an over and back.
Remember, all 3 have got to cross, both feet and the ball.
Kohler trying to back down Clough. Tang, kick out. Baseline, Scott. Side of the backboard. Braden Smith. And he'll stop. Omer Meyer season high 18 against Indiana last Friday when the Boilers blew away their rivals, beating Indiana 93-64 here at Mackey.
Now, Michigan State hasn't hard hedged much. They're at the level to take away some of those looks, and that will go a long way. Jack Benter has had some of his own struggles here in Big Ten play. But again, it's that replace guy from behind. Really good pass and another big shot for one of the roll guys from Purdue.
Kohler actually leads this team in three-point shooting. Gives it up. Shot clock dwindling. Fears. Tries to split him on the deck. C.J. Cox. Exceptional defender, and he's going to force a shot clock violation. Already 5 lead changes. Clough trying to get it to Smith. And before Benter can shoot it, a whistle and a foul underneath. They're going to get Carson Cooper his first.
But in a game where both teams are as physical as these are, that sometimes you think that could probably be called on a lot of plays.
And this time offensive. Braden Smith with his first personal. Braden Smith does not sit much. He's going to get a breather right now. Fears, drive and kick. Tang. Yes, nothing but net.
But C.J. Cox right there, you cannot get turned down. All your help is to the ball screen to the right side of the floor, and Jeremy Fears with the burst just blows his doors off.
Michigan State is getting contributions from all over the place right now.
Boy, big minutes here for Omer Meyer, who has played so well here these last 4 or 5 games.
Native of Tel Aviv in Israel. He drives here, has it stripped out of bounds. It belongs to Michigan State. Timeout on the floor. Braden Smith sitting. He's 2 assists away from 1,000 in his career. When he gets there, he'll be just the 5th ever in Division I history to reach that mark. Fears.
Good hands by C.J. Cox there, just active.
He is such an exceptional defender, the sophomore from Massachusetts. Over Meyer from 15. Tapped around. Card tried to save it.
It can be a load to deal with the bigs of Michigan State, but the guards for Purdue can help out with some ball pressure and some activity, and that's what you get there.
Lawyer right off the inbound pass.
Right, early on, Purdue on their out of bounds plays have cashed in. You've got the lob dunk, and now this Fletcher Lawyer three.
Lawyer is approaching the all-time three-point record at Purdue. He's 13 away. He's made 268 in his career now. Smith back in. Fears to the corner. Carr, they'll let him dial it up. Long rebound. Breakaway. 2-on-1. Cox back to Smith. Leaves for Kaufman-Renn, and it's a goaltending against Carr.
That's a goaltend, but man, the fact that he can even get there and make it close is crazy.
That is number 1,000 on the career assist mark for Braden Smith. And a quick answer on the other end, but Braden Smith just the 5th to reach that number. Everybody looking up at Bobby Hurley. A chance that Braden Smith could catch him at the end of the season. But that is just a staggering number of assists.
It's an incredible accomplishment. You look at the names that are up there with him, and just the fact that he's gone from a 3-star recruit to one of the best point guards to ever play in this league. That's a remarkable achievement for Braden Smith.
And kind of odd that assist number 1,000, there was a goaltend. Into the shot clock here. Trey Kaufman-Renn will get to the line. At the current pace he's on to break Bobby Hurley's record, it'll depend how far Purdue goes in the postseason.
The tournament looms large in that regard, because you can, if they get the double bye, you get 3. If you get single, you get 4. And then it's just how much do you win in the NCAA tournament.
But whether he gets it or not, his legend is forever solidified here in West Lafayette.
No, I think it's fair to say that he's a top 3 or 4 player in the history of Purdue's program.
Well, they throw it away, and look out. Fletcher Lawyer goes tumbling into the scores table. That is Braden Smith's running mate. They have started every game together, all 138 since stepping on campus here.
Now, Purdue has been aggressive with these fierce pick and rolls. They've been hard hedging and just trying to get the ball out of his hands. There's another turn down, though, and Fears gets to the lane. Oh, my goodness.
Cohen Carr is electric at the rim. And the jump is so quick and so explosive.
He has an insane highlight every game. He is worth the price of admission, that's for sure.
49 dunks. There's a dunk on the other end. Jacobson, a chance at 3.
And this dude's like Vince Carter.
Yeah.
And you can say that, most guys, you'd be like, man, no, he's not. This dude is. He is ridiculous.
He's 6'6", and he jumps out of the gym. And no shame for Daniel Jacobson to be put on a poster, because Carr's put everybody in the Big Ten on a poster at some point.
Well, it's Jacobson's job to go up there and contest. Any good shot blocker is going to have no shame about that.
5 on the shot clock here. Down inside. Cooper spinning. Oh,
man.
And Cooper with an emphatic slam of his own.
Just like that, the dunk contest has broke out at Mackey Arena.
Smith with a kick. C.J. Cox. Yes. Assist number 1001.
It's the attention, though, of the middle ball screen. You're worried about Kaufman-Renn rolling and Smith with the pull-up. Those are shots that C.J. Cox, he's going to get those. He's got to make them.
Clough with the board. Here comes Smith again, already with 7 helpers tonight.
Boy, when he pushes, he is looking and surveying the entire floor.
That time a turnover. Jordan Scott on the interception. Whoa, dangerous.
Well, Jordan Scott has been a little bit out of sorts. He was really steady against Ohio State on Sunday. It's been a different story for him tonight.
He's got it right now. Wojcik lost it. Tries to save it. And coaches as well. Of course, both of these guys have been at it. Tom Izzo, Matt Painter at a high level for such a long time. Fears driving, curling it around. 2 to shoot. And right before the horn sounds. It's Kohler.
I love the slip to get Fears downhill with his right hand, and then just the ability to somehow, Brandon, hang in the air and flip that thing out to Kohler. His three-point percentage way down since the middle of January, but that's a massive shot for the Spartans right there at the shot clock buzzer.
All tied at 34. These two programs winning the last 3 Big Ten titles. Michigan State last year. Braden Smith finding Harris. Shot fake. Got Carr in the air and then missed it. Clough on the offensive glass.
Clough has been a grown man down there in the paint. Now perfect from the field at 5 for 5, and his activity level in this first half has been outstanding.
He's already in double figures. That time Kohler misses, and it's Clough with a rebound. Yeah, Rob, this is as good as I've seen number 45 play in a while.
He's only been in double figures one time the last 9 games, and he's only averaged 4 field goal attempts over that stretch.
Here he is posting up against Jackson Kohler, patient. Spinning twice to the left. It comes down, and another miss at the rim. Kohler posting. Here comes a double. Deflected. Smith right there with Fears. Fears gets a screen. Lost it. Kicks it out. Scott. Short. And a rebound to Kaufman-Renn. Braden Smith already 7 assists tonight. To the corner. Lawyer. Driving on the freshman. Off balance. No.
Boy, a phenomenal closeout there by Jordan Scott, though. You're taking Fletcher Lawyer out of rhythm and then containing the dribble drive and forcing him into a tough one at the basket. We'll see if Purdue can close this half strong. That's been an issue for this team throughout the season, and without your floor general, we'll see how they handle this last minute 22.
Cooper. Too much off the window. Another Kaufman-Renn board.
Well, Clough just didn't give up an angle. You know, so much of post defense is just making guys score over the top of you.
Both teams over 50% from the floor here in the first half. High level. Kaufman-Renn banging. Harris, top of the arc. Yes.
How about Trey Kaufman-Renn splitting that post track? Because that double is coming over to take him away, and Tom Izzo is going to have some words for his bigs. That was too wide of a gap. Keeps the culture. Not that these two coaches need help in that, but it goes a long way.
They see that on Purdue's bench as well, no doubt. Fears saves it to the corner. Scott. Oh, a foul on Lawyer, and Scott's going to have 3 at the line.
Now he gets 3 cracks at it to see it go down.
And does not get the bounce. 68% at the line this year. Asked Tom Izzo about Jordan Scott and his recent production today at shoot-around. They thought about redshirting him when he first got to campus, but he's turned into such a big piece of the puzzle. But you're right, tonight at times a little rattled.
Well, he really guarded Bruce Thornton the best of anybody on Sunday. You know, Thornton had 32 of Ohio State's 60 points, and they turned to their freshman to try to limit him.
About a 4-second difference here, shot and game clock.
And Matt Painter not rolling the dice with Braden Smith. You think, you know, I guess because there could be a defensive possession, that's why. But we'll see how Purdue operates.
Lawyer got a look. Boy, rare that he misses that bad. And then that'll go out of bounds, and Michigan State will get one last chance. Final seconds of the half. Fears from 18. No. And that is how the first half concludes. Purdue 39, Michigan State 36.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Kohler, instead of the 3, left an 18-footer short.
That's stunned by Fletcher Lawyer. You run Jackson Kohler off the line and make him take a pull-up jumper. That's exactly what Purdue wants.
Braden Smith, remember he picked up his 2nd foul late, sat at the end of the first half. He's got it here. To Kaufman-Renn. Spinning. And left it short. Cooper strong on the defense again. up ahead.
And Purdue, for the most part, Brandon, has kept Michigan State in the half court. Only 2 fast break points for the Spartans. And they're one of the elite teams at running in all of college basketball.
Yeah, they're over 17 a game. That's always a key for Tom Izzo's clubs. A great start to the half on both ends for Carson Cooper.
He has gotten so much better offensively. The fact that he can give you a little shimmy shake and get to his turnaround jumper now. Carson Cooper, a great example of a Michigan State big who stayed with it, worked at it, and made himself into a player.
Yeah, grew up 40 miles from East Lansing. A three, the answer from number 3, Braden Smith. Smith, 5 points. Now Cooper again.
It's the same exact move right there. Cooper is just taking his time and getting exactly what he wants to that little right shoulder turnaround.
And remember, a guy who arrived in East Lansing without the stars, without the fanfare, but Tom Izzo has developed him into a great player. Smith wanted to foul, no whistle. Fears on the attack from 15, yes.
That's the first really opportunity outside of one in the first half where Michigan State's been able to get a stop and get out and run. With as well as Purdue shot it in that first half, 54% from the field, just not many opportunities, but you get some early stops and Jeremy Fears is able to go.
And now we're all tied again, 42 apiece. Lawyer slips, saved it.
A good help from Kohler coming over.
Double team, passed out, deflected. Now there's only 2.7 on the shot clock. Awkward inbound spot. Right down into Jacobson. Offensive board. Kaufman-Renn puts it home.
I love the play design by Purdue. With 2 seconds on the shot clock, you get Jacobson getting great position and just throw it up to him and let him make something happen.
Kaufman-Renn's got 7 and 5 now. One of the best rebounders in the conference. Mismatch here. Fears. Is there an offensive foul? Yes. A push-off against Carr. Just the first on Carr. Remember, neither team reached the bonus in the first half, so no real foul trouble right now. Smith, downtown. Every rebound is a battle. This one is headed the other direction.
Got a great look, just missed it.
They did whistle Kaufman-Renn for the foul, his second. Here's Ward, had a good first half, gives it up. Scott, catch and release, splash.
I love Cohen Carr. When he can curl that thing and put so much pressure on the defense with his ability at the rim, touch the paint and spray it out.
And Michigan State making their last 4 field goals to regain the lead here. Fears to the deck. Good hands by Cooper.
There's been a couple opportunities for Braden Smith to maybe go score and is overpassed here in this one.
How about Fears? Just a straight blow by.
Well, Michigan State doesn't need any help getting out in transition, but if you turn the basketball over against them, good luck slowing them down.
And you saw Fears jawing back and forth with Tom Izzo. You'll see that a lot, but they got a great relationship. Lawyer turns the corner and puts it off the window.
And Purdue does a great job of getting him and those DHLs going to his right hand.
Oh! Hammer time for number 55. Folks, he's just the best dunker in college basketball. There's no question about it.
He's a human highlight reel. I mean, you let him get a full head of steam. My goodness, he is explosive.
Smith loses it. Lawyer comes to pick it up. Kaufman-Renn looking for space. Hook shot. Is there going to be a foul? Yes, and it's going to be against the Spartans and Jordan Scott.
Purdue has allowed Michigan State to get some life here in transition, and credit the Spartans for getting out, getting some stops, and getting out and going.
Lawyer off the shot fake. Beautiful basketball from Fletcher Lawyer. Tang trying to answer.
What a fight for that rebound between Cam Ward and Trey Kaufman-Renn.
I think the officials have done a pretty good job of letting him jostle in there. There's no doubt it's been physical. Off top, Kaufman-Renn able to find Jacobson.
That's an absurd pass. Trey Kaufman-Renn is in there wheeling and dealing. He's feeling that double coming over and just throwing it up and letting Daniel Jacobson do the rest.
5 ties, now 9 lead changes tonight between these two top 15 clubs. Denham Wojcik does not shoot much, does not score much. Role player, Kohler, double team, finds Tang, 18-footer. Got fouled, hit by Jakari Harris. Tang 5 points tonight. 6. Tang from New Hampshire, his parents from South Sudan. They had to flee to the U.S. to escape civil war back in 2004. And he says he always appreciates everything his parents have done to give him this opportunity to play high-level Division I basketball, and he ties the game at 51 apiece. Are they going to get a foul on Fears? Yes, he got tangled there with Braden Smith in the matchup of elite point guards. Up top again, but this time Kohler got a hand on it. Fears to Scott. Extra pass, Tang. Beautiful ball movement from the Spartans.
How good was that, though, from Michigan State? Force another turnover, get a post-entry pass. You got the mismatch, swing that thing around. Kurt Tang with some monster minutes here on the road.
Michigan State doesn't hit a lot of threes, but they've been efficient tonight. 5 of 12 from deep. Inside, shot fake, and the reverse for Jacobson.
Boy, Purdue centers have come to play tonight. Whether it's been Clough or Jacobson, they have given Purdue what they've needed.
And it's Jacobson on the defensive end. Purdue looking to give us our 11th lead change of the night. Jacobson tangled up with Kohler. Braden Smith, almost a 5-second call, now gets it back. Lawyer curling, firing, missing.
Well, he was flying off those screens and got a good look.
Lawyer 2 of 5 from downtown, 8 points tonight. Kohler's going to drive, and he gets fouled on his way to the basket. Doug Sermons is going to give him 2 free throws.
I think that is the right call.
But Kohler does not give him that chance for a post-game meal. Treated to a dandy so far here tonight. Both teams 22-5 and 12-4 in Big Ten play. Both right now top 4 seeds in the Big Ten tournament. Top of the arc, Benter, yes!
Purdue has killed Michigan State with the roll and replace. Braden Smith is flying off that handoff, and you've got Benter just raising right behind on the action.
Boilers back on top. Benter's taken 2 shots, both from distance. He's hit both. Fears inside. Cooper fouled by Oscar Clough.
Jack Benter, both his threes have been on the roll and replace.
Now we've seen it all.
You know, I've got 2 influences. It's the Czar and it's Raph. And those are the 2 that I want to be like, Fratello and Raph.
Not bad. Good company. Here we go, back and forth. Now the Spartans in front again. 12 lead changes.
Did you see the way I got to the next action there?
I was impressed.
I mean, let's go.
Yeah, I doubted you. I got to be honest.
Valpo High School, stand up.
And Purdue, right?
Just Valpo High School tonight.
Lawyer, Benter. What a bullet pass. But Clough cannot finish it. Looks like it slipped out of his left hand. Fears gets it back. Splits him, tripped, grabbing his wrist. He's not coming out of this game.
A good hedge there by Clough. He totally wiped out the momentum of Fears coming off.
Cooper, patient. Tang from three. Yes!
Kurt Tang has had a massive impact in this game. Braden Smith kind of giving a little bit of a show to dig out that post up. And Kurt Tang stepping in with confidence. He's made 3 triples on the night.
And now he steps in and gets a steal.
Uh-oh.
Here goes Carr! Largest lead for the Spartans. Carr with his 3rd dunk of the night, and that was the most electric. A whistle and a push. I think they're going to get Fears. Yes, his 2nd.
That was awesome.
He is unbelievable. Benter, side iron. And all of a sudden, Michigan State, their largest lead of the night, and a chance to add to it. Tang has 13. He averages 7. Fears with a skip.
A good rotation out there by Purdue of taking on Kurt Tang as that ball swung.
Fears pulls. Missed everything. And it landed out of bounds. And they're going to let Fears hear about that miss. Meyer from straight on. Buries it. Tang thought about it. Cooper, the 6'11" senior, getting to his spot and hitting it with the left hand.
He has shown the total arsenal tonight, and it's been heavy to his right shoulder. But whether it's been the turnaround jumper or now the left hook, Carson Cooper's offense tonight, a monster factor in this game.
So a career high 20 last time out. He's got 15 now. What a feed from Braden Smith to Kaufman rim. A quick rest for Jeremy Fears. Inside of 8 to play. Kaufman ran all over him. Wojcik down inside. Pulled the chair out, did Braden Smith, but they're going to call a foul against Purdue.
In the second half, Purdue 47% from the field, but Michigan State has been on fire, 71%.
Fears trying to keep that going. Backs it up. Fears has 8 and 5 tonight. Crossover. Leaning in. Got it.
Oh, that was an awesome step through right there. And you don't see them call that in college hoops anymore. They give you the leniency to take that step. You have got to stay in front of him. It's hard enough with the bounce, but you have to know if he picks it up, he's going to maneuver and try to find an angle.
Foul inside. Remember, he's tracking towards passing Cassius Winston's single-season assist record at Michigan State. Between him and Smith, they're 2 good ones. And a whistle is going to put Trey Kaufman-Renn at the line.
Not an easy guy to defend.
MLB opening day is on NBC and Peacock to lead off. Pirates visiting the Mets. Then in prime time, the D-backs against the World Series champs, the Dodgers, March 26. NBC and Peacock.
And you started up with some spring training.
Yes.
Boy, rough life. Go to Florida and talk about baseball.
I'm not going to lie, Rob. It was pretty nice. Got a good crew down there with Braves Vision. Fears with a lob inside. Ooh, Kohler missed it. Or Cooper, rather. Now Purdue the other way. Less than 7 to play. Meyer feeding the post. Kaufman-Renn, the senior, gives it up around the arc. Look at that basketball, like a hot potato, but no good from Cox.
Good execution. Post double comes. They get exactly what they want. That ball moves. That's a good look for C.J. Cox.
Purdue 10 of 20 from downtown, but right now they trail by 4. Fears slings it. Tang's had a good game. He's looking for more. Misses that attempt.
How about that block out? Purdue's bigs, they are doing their work early and checking out there.
Well, they know when you play Michigan State, it is a battle on the glass. Smith drives. Kicks it out. Meyer to the floor, but no whistle. Smith had an offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
The box score didn't say that as much, but I think in watching it, it was just overwhelming the way that Michigan got to the offensive glass. Michigan State only with 4 offensive rebounds, Purdue with 8.
And Braden Smith gets the Boilers within a pair. Fears down the lane, drops it off, and Ward does the rest.
Jeremy Fears, though, is catching that with a full head of steam already going downhill. It's a mature play. It's an understanding that I can get a little extra momentum by getting a running start. That was so well done.
Michigan State shooting 67% in the second half. Very efficient. Braden Smith had it taken away by Ward. Cam Ward's had some big plays on both ends tonight. Fears gets back up, resets the offense. We're inside of 5 now in this top 15 battle. Scott, the freshman. 3 to shoot. Kohler. How about rebound. Scott flying through? And that fouls on Purdue and Kaufman-Wren in the bonus and final 4:40.
With the way they're stretching him out, that's what that looks like. What, are you coming to me like I'm the injury expert?
Well, I know that in a previous life you were an athletic trainer.
Okay, yeah.
You know, you do a lot.
Yeah.
NBA player, you call games on every network. You never take a night off. I figured you know what a cramp is. Okay?
Okay.
Lawyer gives it up top. Bencher.
A good sense of urgency from Ward there. That action has hurt Michigan State all night long.
Clough off the heel, and Carr with a rebound. Michigan State right now in control. Fears down Broadway. How did he get through there? Reckless abandon. And a timeout by Matt Painter. Jeremy Fears showing no fear at Mackey.
But he's a big-time player in this league. There is no question about it.
Largest lead for the Spartans. We're inside of 4 minutes.
Boy, Michigan State has done a much better job on that handoff of coming out and making sure they're with Purdue shooters.
Up top, Bencher. This would be big, and he got it.
But the post double comes over, and they don't get out there to rotate. Great read from Trey Kaufman-Wren, and that's the answer for Purdue.
Down to 5. Fears regathers, looks over at his Hall of Fame head coach. Scott driving on Lawyer. What a tough runner for Jordan Scott.
Well, he has played well beyond his years in this run here. These last 5 starts for Michigan State, he has come into his own, had some struggles in the first half, but what a play off the closeout to make something happen and the shot clock.
Shots like that are why Tom Izzo moved him to the starting lineup 2.5 weeks ago, and he's producing. Smith, yes, it rattles down. 14,000 to their feet. Kick out. Fears dials it up. No. Braden Smith trying to get it back to a 1-possession game. Drives on the freshman and got it off the window. Timeout, Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo took the timeout. What do you think Michigan State looks to do here?
I have to think high ball screen for Jeremy Fears and let him go to work.
There you go. Now Kohler spinning. Jackson Kohler. What footwork, and he quiets the crowd.
He just puts you in the mix. The mixture of pivots and the skill that he's got. Jackson Kohler making a one-on-one play to totally quiet the crowd.
Said he chose Michigan State because he knew he could come out a man at this place under Tom Izzo, and boy has he. Benter, floater, yes!
Oh, what a play off the closeout. You've got Cohen Carr on your hip, and that's a big play there. Jack Benter making a play off the bounce.
Back to their feet, and Mackey. Kohler, flat. Carr, offensive rebound. Kohler again, flat again. Seven ties, 12 lead changes. Purdue, a chance to tie it or take the lead again. Top of the arc, Benter. And Carr, or Tang with a rebound for Michigan State.
Boy, Matt Painter kind of gave him the look. I don't think he loved the shot. Even though Benter just made that play off the dribble, that was a deep three right there. I think Jeremy Fears has certainly earned the right to try to win this game.
And Fears has it right now. He's got 12 and 6 tonight. Gets a screen, drives, 5 to shoot, needs a friend, 3 on the timer. Carr, no! Shot clock violation, there is no foul. The ball belongs to Purdue. Number 8 Purdue, number 13 Michigan State. The only meeting between these two this year, and it has been a downright dandy. We are just 3 days away from March, and you can feel it in here right now. It's Braden Smith. Over to Lawyer. 15 to go. Down inside. Kaufman-Renn goes to work. Puts it up. No! Rebound to Ward. And a foul with 8.1 to go. He missed it. Purdue has a timeout if they want to use it. Lawyer.
Good timeout by Matt Painter.
Yeah, Matt Painter called it from the sideline emphatically.
Have to be direct and concise.
Lawyer's got to get it in. It's Braden Smith. He pulls for the win. No! And Michigan State gets the win at